Hello, world. My name is Leo, and today we are continuing the Titan Souls file. But before I do that, I want to try to talk about the lore and the game a little bit because for those of you who don't know, during Rain World, my Rain World Let's Play. I started putting out some thoughts so far videos for those of you who haven't seen those. Um, and a lot of people really liked them, so I wanted to do more of them going forward. And I thought after playing a little bit of Titan Souls that this would be that I'd have enough to talk about in a video to be able to do it again and make it its own thing. So, first, I want to say that I'm really enjoying Titan Souls so far. Um, I don't know how I haven't heard of this game before, um, but yeah, Acid Nerve, the developers, have really proven that they know how to make a good boss fight, which is making me really excited for Death's Door because I know that game also has like a lot of boss fights with even more of a more direct story to it. Um, the idea of taking a single concept, an arrow that you can recall, um, and having all of the bosses and yourself die in one hit. Um, is just incredibly fascinating. And I've said it before how the bosses feel like puzzles. And I just think that's really cool. I find it really fascinating that they were able to make the boss encounters feel that way. Um, some of my favorite bosses were probably the Eye Cube, the Fireball with the face on it, and Elhanan, the legendary Titan Slayer. Those were all, I think, kind of standout bosses for me, as bosses that had really unique mechanics that took advantage of both of either the environment or the mechanic of the single arrow and being able to recall it, or both. Um, so yeah, I wanted to say that. Also, the music has been really amazing. For those of you who don't know, I think I did mention it before. David Fenn did the soundtrack for this game. He also did the soundtrack for Death's Door. I've heard a bunch of Death's Door's soundtrack on Spotify, and I've really loved it. And also, fun fact, I found out recently that David Fenn is also the same composer for the Moonlighter soundtrack, which is also a really good soundtrack. I really love Moonlighter's OST. So, yeah, props to David Fenn for just making really awesome soundtracks. Um, it was honestly really unexpected for a game. I was honestly expecting something kind of generic, like nothing like bad, but also nothing memorable. But this has had really good music, um, and I'm really thankful for that. So, regarding the lore for Titan Souls, uh, I think that like this game is very interesting because outwardly it's not telling a like direct story. It's definitely an environmental story. And even like the environmental storytelling, it isn't all that clear from what's really going on. The way the story's being told is like one of three things. There are the rooms that have the like paintings on the walls of the different of some of the different titans, some of the lead titans in the regions, which I guess, according to the titles from the OST, are called guardians. Um, the boss encounters themselves, some of them have a lot of story to them, and also in some instances, the layout of the map, I think, is also, and like some of the map details are also telling a story here. So, um, what I think is happening is, um, you can see at the beginning of the game that like the soul, like I think my soul is intertwined with the bow and the arrow. And I think like when I visited, according to the OST, like thank you to the person who is posting the songs in the OST titles in the comments. By the way, it's helping me theory craft, and it's just useful to have. But the Titan that I killed, who talked to me, who I believe, according to the OST, is called the Forgotten Guardian. Um, he said that the player, the lone archer, paid a heavy toll for the abomination in my quiver. He didn't say the weapon, he didn't say the bow and arrow, he mentioned specifically the arrow. Um, and so what I think is happening, and we have some hints towards what he means as well, because the legendary Titan Slayer Elhanan also has the same arrow. And you can see as I hit it, it gets rid of his armor and shows an emaciated body, without any skin. It looks just like it's all like been burned away or something. So I think that for this particular weapon, I don't know where it originates or anything, but the wielder has to give something up in order to be able to use it. For Elhanan, and there are a few theories I have about Elhanan. Elhanan's really interesting because, sorry, I'm getting off topic really quick, but I just wanted to mention this. It's really interesting to me that all of the boss names are in like gibberish or like a made up language, except for Elhanan. They are the only one in English, and which means that they are a known entity to me, to my player character, and presumably to the world. Um, so I think in order to use the arrow, it's possible that maybe Elhanan gave up their body, like paid for it with their body. That's why the arrow generates armor for Elhanan, because Elhanan gave up their body to be able to use it. And to that point, that begs the question, what did my player character give up in order to be able to use the arrow? And it has to be their soul. Like it showed at the beginning, like my soul is tied to the bow and arrow. So I think, like, I don't know if that also plays into how I'm able to absorb the souls of Titans, because I no longer have mine. But I think that might be the case. I gave up my soul to be able to hunt these Titans. What the implications of that are, I'm not sure, but that's my prediction for what has been going on. Another point regarding Elhanan. They are a legendary Titan Slayer, but that begs the question, why did they not kill all of the Titans, and why did they become a Titan? And I actually think we have the answer for that as well. So if we look at, I was thinking about it, like I was thinking about that question, and if we look at the layout of the area where Elhanan is, it could be like their estate. And the reason why they would have chosen to build an estate here was because they found a source of infinite wealth. The Mimic constantly generates gold coins, and I think that we don't know why Elhanan initially set out to hunt Titans, but if it was for something like greed or some kind of like wealth or personal gain, then finding the Mimic and seeing all the coins that it generates, it would make sense that they would just stop hunting and just like hold that. Like maybe they even built the secret door to put the Mimic in there so no one else would be able to find his wealth or their wealth. And the building next to that, which I believe is the one that has the like bulb with the directional inputs on the ground, like those hieroglyphs, um, or not hieroglyphs, but just like pictures. Um, I actually have a theory about that I'm going to talk about. And we're going to see if it's correct right after this, because I'm going to be recording more right after this. But those directions have to be directions to navigate the forest. And if I follow those directions, it'll probably lead to that bulb, that flower thing that was pictured. I don't know if that has some connection to Elhanan. Maybe they brought a flower here and like turned it into a Titan somehow or something. Um, but yeah, Elhanan fascinates me as like they're such a unique character compared to everything else. But in terms of what's going on in the world, I think that the so there's clearly like the Guardians are like the main Titans, because we had like a Guardian in the snow region, we had the disgraced Guardian according to the OST in the lava region, we had the and we've fought other ones, and I think they all have different ways of like protecting themselves. So like the Guardian of the starting area, it looks like he actually divided his body. Like I think like his heart was in the blob, his brain was frozen in ice, his eye was kept in the wall, and I think those were the only three. But yeah, I think all three of those might be parts of the Guardian's body that he separated from himself to try to protect himself and the realm that I'm currently in. The disgraced Guardian in the lava region is very interesting because we see his body like way down below us sitting on a platform in the lava, and we fight his head as the like head with the two spiked ball chains coming out of it. Maybe Elhanan defeated that particular Guardian, and that's why he is disgraced. It's also interesting that the picture on the wall in one of those rooms, in the hallway that leads to the next like grassy region, we actually see that the roller, the like eye in the stone, and the fireball both seem to originate from the disgraced Guardian. Then the Guardian in the snow region was the one that had like the Yeti and the serpent. He was buried in the snow. I think the picture in that region might have been him like, it's really hard to tell what's going on in that one, but it seems like he's like hiding underneath the mountains or something, and like other things spawned from him. I couldn't really tell with that one, but we then have the Forgotten Guardian, and then we also have something that looks like a Guardian in the Mask boss room. Maybe Elhanan defeated that one as well. Genuinely not sure. But that all of this begs the question, what are they guarding and why am I hunting them? And I don't think the game has really given us an answer to either of those questions yet. In terms of what they're guarding, I think the game is saving that for the end. Or like maybe it's just ambiguous. I don't know if there's exactly an answer to what they're guarding right now. My only guess is like some kind of power source, maybe some kind of gateway into heaven or something like that. In terms of why I'm hunting them, I mean, the Forgotten Guardian didn't know. He said it doesn't really matter in the end, like wealth, power, knowledge. But the souls don't seem to be doing anything for me right now. Like, I absorb them, but they don't give me any like tangible effects or like changes to my looks or anything like that. So something tells me the souls will only come into play at the end as well. and maybe they're needed to unlock whatever it is they were guarding. I don't know. But yeah, I think that is all of my speculations. Other than that, what I think is going to happen going forward is I think the checkpoints that I've been passing over, that have been like keeping track of the bosses, those are the like gates or seals that the game said at the beginning, like opened your first gate or something like that, and it showed like one of 8 dots being like glowing. If the checkpoint seals are representative of the dots, then I am on number 6 of 8. So there, if I'm not mistaken, there should be 2 more regions after this, and the regions can have anywhere from 2 to 4 bosses. So we know there's 2 bosses in the forest region, 2 more regions besides that, so we're looking at anywhere between 6 and 10 bosses left, if I'm doing my math correctly. Yeah, 6 to 10 bosses left in the game, and then we will see what the ending holds. So, yeah, without further ado, let me know, because I am going to make this its own episode. Let me know what you guys think of any of the things I've said. If you guys have any theories in the on what's going on or anything about the world or anything, please let me know in the comments. If you know anything for sure, please don't spoil anything, obviously, but if you're just speculating like me, I would love to hear your thoughts. And also let me know what your favorite boss has been in the game so far. I'll probably also ask that question at the end, but yeah, in terms of favorite bosses, I'd be interested to hear your guys' thoughts on that as well. But without further ado, let's go ahead and continue Titan Souls. 14 killed. Oh, there is a death counter. I've died 126 times.